into our next topic that Sheila and I will be covering, which is membership. We're going to talk a little bit about both recruitment as well as retention, and this is going to be a workshop where we're going to send it over to you guys so that you can brainstorm in groups of 7 to 10 and talk a little bit about those two topics. So we want to talk about obviously recruiting our new members and constantly getting the message of the USBG out there and how we can entice and let people know the benefits of this incredible organization that we're all a part of. The other thing is with retention. What issues are you running into right now with your current members? Why are they necessarily renewing or not renewing? What can we do to fix that? So those are going to be our two topics. I want you guys to be creative. Think outside of the box. Think about ideas, events, what you want to see changed, what changes you think you can make at a local level, and what we can do at a national level as well. Things like last year, I came up with this crazy idea called BYOB, called Bring Your Own Bartender, and it originated in New York, I think over a couple of years, and because we were talking about the bartending community and how expansive it is, and different types of bars that bartenders work in, and different environments, and how we can all learn from one another, and how to, get away from that whole idea that it's all about craft cocktails only, and that it's an elite sort of thing. A lot of us have talked about that over the last day already, and that it's really, about the bartender and the guests that we serve as well, and the jobs that we do in this industry. And so bringing that forward and making it a very open community to be able to invite the new and upcoming bartenders as well and make them feel welcome. So with BYOB, unfortunately, the event that we planned in New York ended up getting smushed by a little thing called Hurricane Sandy. But I did see that I think Miami and Boston both ended up throwing those events, and which I want to hear about the response on that. So when I see things like that happening and I see these different membership events going on across the country, we need to share those ideas, and we need to take our best practices as well and learn from them together so that we can hopefully, in the end with this, create some national programming, so setting some goals nationally that will trickle down to all 41 chapters with those ideas that could be 2 or 3 ideas that will work specifically in your market for new members as well as to retain our members. So make sure that you're at a table that has at least 7 people. If you don't, go and join another. Sheila, do you have anything to add?
No, I think you did. Good job.
So, that's it. If you have any questions, we're going to be wandering around, but I'm going to leave it to you guys to each prepare your list of the 2 topics, and then select a presenter to come on up here afterwards to be able to share those ideas. And if you want, as a team, you can come up in teams of 2 as well if you feel more comfortable that way. Cool? Thanks, guys.
Finding ways to give prospective members tangible discounts. There's a lot of intangible benefits to joining USBG, but some tangible benefits. Finding discounts at your local gyms, local grocery stores, juice places, dry cleaners, those things that they deal with on a day-to-day basis that don't impact their bartending life but impact the rest of their life. And finding ways to create kind of a local benefits package for new members. One of the things that we've been doing in Austin is, we used to plan really elaborate recruitment events, and they would take several weeks to organize, and we'd have kind of mixed results. And now we have a much more casual approach. We have a recruitment happy hour every single Tuesday from 6 to 8 o'clock at some bar somewhere in Austin. There's no agenda. There's just at least one person from USG that's posted up at that bar drinking a beer and ready to talk to anybody that shows up. And then we also created these business cards, which I have a bunch if you want to take them. You can order them on moo.com. They're fabulous. It has every single way you can get in touch with someone at USBG. Our website, our Facebook page, the Pulse page, and then you can also write on the back. We usually write the next 2 or 3 events, and then we hand them off. We carry them in our wallets when we're checking out at a restaurant or at a bar. We slip it in with our credit card receipt, and we've gotten a lot of new members by using these.
What's the website you said you can?
Moo.
Moo.com.
Moo, yes. Like 300 of these is like $50.
Can we all have one?
Yeah, as many as I have. Yeah. Find a local PR group in your market that's wanting to do some pro bono work for you, and get them to dedicate 5 hours of service to writing about what your chapter is doing and sending out media alerts on your behalf. Or even find a journalism student at a local university who's willing to write some PR media alerts and send them out to local papers. That's a great way to get the USBG name out there. And then Louise brought up finding other bartender forums that exist on like Facebook or online and infiltrating those forums and posting about events that are coming up in your chapter. We have all kinds of bartender of Texas spirit enthusiasts, and it's kind of random offshoot things that may not even know that the USBG exists.
Very good.
Who's next? You'll go? Okay. And then you.
So, Sean Nevis, Utah chapter. People do drink in Utah. they drink lots, as it turns out. We just deal with some weird laws. So we thought it'd be funny and ironic to send a new guy up here to talk about recruitment. So this is actually obviously one of the most important things for me, being here representing our chapters as a new chapter for USBG. And so I'm all ears. I'm going to probably pin all you guys down here over the next couple of days and get ideas. We're standing at about, I think, 25 or 26 members. We recruited 5 new members to our Campari cocktail competition, which we thought was pretty cool. And then we're following up with probably 10 more that we can probably get in over time. We'd like to double or triple our size by the end of the year, so it's a big deal for us. So just some of the ideas that I'm picking up at our table here. We talked about basically developing distributor and supplier involvement with USBG, actually recruiting people into USBG because they have their sales calls, they're constantly out on the street, pounding the pavement. They have the ability to slide in cards and do introductions as they're going out on their sales calls, which I thought was a pretty cool idea. Also, cocktail competitions, obviously, as a recruitment tool. We're looking really, I don't know, with our chapter being its size, it's going to be hard to execute every single cocktail competition that comes through. So we're looking at other avenues too, just events and inviting non-member bartenders to come and participate in those events. And then also on the retention side, something that really stuck that was stated at our table was this idea that constantly evolving and innovating in your program, your different events, not just cocktail competitions, but constantly reinventing what you're doing on a chapter level just sort of naturally brings new members. So really looking forward to using some of these ideas, and I'll hit all you up for your little tricks here next little bit. So.
Hey guys, Elizabeth Powell, Washington State. So we Northwest. What? Okay, I'll do a microphone drop when I leave. So for recruitment, one of the things we thought about is one-click sharing from Pulse to Facebook. So every single one of us has bartender friends who aren't members of the guild, and they don't see the value in it. But if we can click from an article, not necessarily a discussion, but just some of the articles and videos from Pulse to Facebook with a button, we can actually, that individual can then say, oh, this is kind of interesting, I wonder what they've got to say. Click on that link, just get to that particular article, and check it out. And then, yes, sir?
Well, how about inviting them to like the USBG page? Wouldn't that be better?
Well,
everyone here invited every one of their bartender friends to like USBG.
But they're not necessarily going to do that. I mean, that's a good idea, but what I'm talking about is getting them actively involved with the Pulse website.
Yeah, have them engage your friends and everyone's friends here to click on to join Pulse or to join USBG. Because essentially that's what they'll have to do anyway after you click it, you link it from Pulse to.
Well, no, the idea is that they get to read that one article or see that video, and then there's a join now button at the bottom, but they can't access anything else on the Pulse website. So if enough people post things and people get interested, they start clicking, they're like, what's going on with this Pulse thing? And maybe, just maybe, we'll get a couple more members from that. And also, we might get more activity on Pulse, which is 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yay!
Sponsored memberships. We all know brands have a lot of money to throw around, and says maybe a bartender might balk at the idea of a $100 membership. But if we get brands to pony up a couple of memberships, maybe as a reward, like you do some great community service, and Diageo is going to pony up $400 for 4 members. Yes?
One thing on that, we just had the Texas tailgate that we threw down. And one thing that we did is we absolutely wanted to include people from the community that were not bartenders to participate on the teams. In exchange, Republic paid for the memberships of everyone that participated in the tailgate competition. So if they were new members, paid for their membership. If they were already existing members, it paid for their next year's membership to encourage participation in the event, as well as pay for the memberships of those that, 1, couldn't afford it, or 2, just hadn't done it before.
Yes? Mr. Coggins, the man in the back.
We had something similar, I think, when you were still in Boston. We did a dinner with Pisco Portone, and they reached out to USBG, but also other bartenders, and then as a thank you for the assistance, they gave everyone, whether they're already a member or not, membership. So that got some new people in. So, you know, if brands are already working in the market, trying to convince them that rather than give out white hats, because people want a white hat, get a membership.
Yes?
If I could just, one thing that we've kind of taken on as a position in our chapter is discouraging brands to pay for the entire membership. I think the bartenders need to have skin in the game. Otherwise, it's going to be a membership that's paid for them, and they have no incentive to come to anything or participate. I think 50% is reasonable and fine, but I would say that we get more participation from people that at least had to throw down some money themselves.
I don't know. I think it's a nice.
Actually, all of my memberships have been sponsored. But like you said, I've never paid to be a member of this organization, and I've got a lot of skin in the game.
I'd like to make a comment about that as well. It's a little bit harder on retention if somebody is actually paying for their membership, because once that year comes back and now that $100 has to come out of their own pocket, even if you've done a great job at getting them to events, it's still, they didn't pay for it before and now they're being required to pay for it. So, I mean, I believe it's a good idea, but I do believe that there is some value to it coming out of their own pocket. Yeah.
So you get better value.
Thank you.
Your third drink is free.
We were thinking seasonal fundraisers and ticketed events. So our good friends in San Francisco do a farmers market thing that they do. They actually added a USBG table. They stir up drinks and talk to people about the USBG and the benefits of being a member. Yes, sir. Did you have a question? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying on that brand sponsorship, what we do in Charleston is nearly every meeting that we have, if we have a supplier in, we raffle off one membership at every meeting.
That's kind of groovy. Do you take money for the raffle, or is it just a general like throw your name in the hat?
It's throw your name. If you show up, you can win the membership.
Coming back to the point, what we did actually, it was not actually just basically like, hey, we're gonna give like 24 memberships out to all the people, right? We asked all the bartenders to work, to basically like work that day, and they would work. They basically worked for like 10 hours, and then out of that they got a membership. So they had to work. It's not like, hey, you're gonna get a membership for free.
Right.
You just try to like get that point. Like we don't just give you stuff. You know, they put
Do a
a lot of time in that, and like because like be realistic. Not everybody has $100 to be like, hey, here. I'm not using this $100. I mean, some people live day by day, and then they're willing to work and do something else to be able to get money back. So
I like that. I mean, I think in general, bartenders are some of the most generous people on the planet. I mean, we're always willing to work for a cause. Yes.
Oh, I want to Luis and Jessica's point. We've been doing our thing 5 years now, and I feel like almost every time, like when Bar Smarts used to give a memberships, we'd get like 30 new people, and then none of them would renew. There's something about a perception that when you pay for something, it's worth something, and when you don't pay for something, I think that there's situations where comping a membership is valid, like as in if someone's a great volunteer or you're rewarding them for something, but I would just be super cautious about, because you're sending a message that it's not worth $100, and the bullshit is that I think our chapter is worth $800 a year or whatever, and it's like, why am I going to bust my ass all year round to build an organization that I don't think is worth $100. It's bullshit. And when you break that out, it's like eight. And I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but like I'm just saying, you should be proud to charge $100. It's $8.68 a month or something.
It's less than a pack of cigarettes.
It's a cocktail. It's a cocktail a month that it costs this person, and they get all this value. We should not be ashamed to charge $100.
Well, actually, what I would like to clarify, at the end of my statement, I did say if somebody does a good job, like a volunteer or something, opportunity, you reward them with the sponsored membership. In my defense. I did say that.
Thank you. David, when you said that the other night to me also, and I was like, oh wow, I've never thought of the math on that, and it's such a great way of looking at it. But actually, when you say that, you're like, it's $9. You know, that's less than a cocktail to be able to have all of these opportunities. I mean, when you just put it in perspective in that way, easy.
I would say 40% of people who are in our non-renewal list were people who were paid for by Bar Smarts or something like that.
Or comped, yeah.
One of the things also done by Summer Jane Bell is she puts up a bottle of horse belts or something similar like that, and the idea is guess how many there are in there and you win a bottle of something. But what we get in return is contact information and the opportunity to thank them for coming by, guessing, whatever, reaching out, letting them know if they have any questions or issue or anything they want to address. Please feel free to contact us. Wearing your USBG pin to work. So good friends in Reno have a tendency to do that, and every time they do it, people talk to them about it. Or not all the time, but did you want to speak a little more to that? Branding, I think, is important too. If people recognize your chapter as a brand, they'll be more inclined to be interested in it. And that's like logos and stuff like that, swag. If you've got the things, wear them. Field trips. So must be a member to attend. We're not talking boozy field trips. We're talking going out and doing things like focusing on activities and stuff such as that. And that would also be in retention as well. If you do things that aren't alcohol related all the time, that are fun, activity driven, I think people will be more inclined to stay because they see a value in what they're doing. We're taking the focus off of competitions. And really being active with posting pics and videos of those events, so people who went to them can actually go back to that Facebook page and remember the time. Remember at Camp Winnemuck? All those pictures? Yeah, see, that's the kind of stuff.
Last week.
Remember last week? Contact expiring members. So have somebody in charge of paying attention to who's getting ready to fall off the ranks. Reach out to them. Ask them if they know that they're getting ready to expire. If they don't, because most of us don't realize that we're getting ready to expire. We get inundated with emails all the time.
Can I add to that?
Yep. Just in addition to that, because I know that Sheila does an amazing, incredible job with sending out all of those renewal notices and everything. But I used to get a list from her, and I used to also run my own reports at New York chapter, where I would look at who was expiring, and I would send them a personal message from the New York chapter saying, we value you. Reminder, guess what? Your membership's going to expire within the next 30 days. Click on this link, you can renew. And so letting people know, and then I would highlight it and send it off to the council so they'd be aware also of who is going to be expiring. So if you saw them, you'd be like, hey, did you renew your membership? So just a reminder, because we noticed that you're going to be expiring in the next 60 days or something like that. So I know I'm taking up all your time, and thank you for it. Finally, individuals who are expiring, and when you contact them, say they're not inclined to renew, ask them why. Ask them what specifically keeps them from wanting to continue to be a member, and see if that's something that as a chapter we can address. Like can we provide you more value for that $100 or $50 or however much it was. Cool, thank you.
Awesome.
Next table. All right, come on over.
Just stand up there.
At least you're close to the next one. So my name is Chris. I'm from Las Vegas.
We need a voice.
We pretty much covered everything that was brought up already, except for one. We brought two really big initiatives to our chapter this year, which we're getting a lot of positive retention of people who are really invigorated back into the guild and being more active in the guild. Because we have a large membership list, but the attendance at some of the events varies from 20 to 25, and then some of them up to 50 or 60. So It's really quite random, and we were wondering why we could, or how we could make sure that every event has a really strong attendance. So we created something called the tip pool. So it's an annual thing where every time you attend an event, every time you submit for a competition, if you go to one of our charity events, one of our fundraising events, or anything else, we have a weighted system that earns you points. If you win a competition, you get points. If you compete in a national competition, you get points. And these things are all weighted and tiered so that at the end of the year, we have a huge Christmas party, massive. And we give away great gifts, presents, prizes, whatever, which used to be drawn on a raffle basis. Just pull a name out of a hat. But now it's if you have the highest points and you've accumulated the most tips throughout the year, you get to pick first. And the prizes start pretty good, and then they go downwards from there. Which is great for keeping people really, really interested in every single event we're doing. And we've seen guys that have literally attended every single event this year. Like, they haven't skipped one. So, yeah, we give away cool prizes too. Yeah.
Can you share that information?
Yeah, please.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was pulling it up on my phone. It's a little bit small to read right now, but yeah, I'll be happy to send that out to everybody so they can have a look at how we structured it. Sure.
So in terms of your prizes or your giveaways, how do you raise money for that or purchase them? Are they gifts given by restaurants and bars? Or are they
It's everything and anything. We talk to our suppliers, we talk to all of our brand people. Obviously, one of the things we give away every year, which has kind of become the new, everybody wants it, it's the Fernet bike. So yeah, I think we're on to our incarnation number 4 now. So it's the big thing everybody wants. So like people are really pushing hard, and like the tip pool's pretty close. There's a couple of guys that are really neck and neck because they've actually won a couple of competitions as well as attending all the events. So it's going to be pretty interesting when it gets down there. That's the next thing. Yeah. Okay. So then the other thing that we did, obviously to drive membership, was a really big deal for us because we wanted to get people that bartenders are out and about all the time. We drink at every bars. We go to all the restaurants. We talk to other people who are working in the industry. And Las Vegas is a huge community of bartenders, but the craft element is probably significantly smaller in comparison to the number of people we actually have bartending. So we wanted to get more people active, involved, and trying to maybe increase their craft and awareness so that across the city, people are getting better. We have a very, very strong union core, which, for want of a better reason, tends to make things a little bit mediocre. They can take an easy paycheck, they don't lose their job, so they don't really have to try and push further to actually excel or get any better, because everything is based on their number, it's not based on how good you are. So we wanted the bartenders that are already involved in the guild to bring more people in, so we offered a new incentive. It's a membership drive, which is nothing really new or anything else, but you had to have a minimum of 8 people signed up to qualify, and then whoever signed up the most people, you could pick your trip. The guild would pay for you to go to MCC, Tails, any other educational thing that you wanted to do within a certain budget. Would pay for your airfare, your accommodation, education seminars, whatever it was, because we wanted people to actually get the value that they wanted, not just to say, hey, we're going to let you go drink at a bar somewhere, or you're going to give a free dinner. Why don't you pick where you want to go? Where does your education lie? You want to go to Kentucky and tour a couple of bourbon places? No problem, we'll set that up for you. So that was really good. And we've not got as many people as we wanted, but I mean, we probably added 38 or 40 members in the last 4 months.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that's a great chapter.
So, yeah. Okay, so the question that Aaron just asked is how do we keep track of who's being signed up by who? So when people are signing up, they get, okay, you're a new member, we're making sure that they find out, okay, were you referred in by somebody and how are you doing that? And our secretary is tracking that. So we have a very busy secretary, so she's keeping track of absolutely everything we do, so it's good. Yeah. Anyone else? No?
Okay, so there was a couple things we talked about actually to just quickly curtail on his trips thing. In Boston, we've done a couple things like that. I don't know who here, I'm sure everyone got the email for the Boston Cocktail Week, but rather than just get a volunteer from the board for that, we put that up to our members to submit applications and why they want to represent us and what they can learn from it as an opportunity for them to go as opposed to an opportunity for our board to go.
You mean Portland?
Portland, sorry, what did I say?
Summit, cocktail summit.
Okay, so yeah, Portland.
We're on the same side.
Sorry. Meow. Okay, we also, does everyone know Jonathan Pogash and Frankie? We're kind of, this is thanks to them. New York does this thing that was pretty awesome. They visited chapters. They came to Boston for a weekend last October, which was it October? It was pretty raucous. August, yeah. It was a lot of fun, but the Boston chapter got to network with New York, pick people's brains, have a good time. We planned events, we went to places. New York came to Boston and got to experience a different market. It was a great benefit. We were able to get members interested just so they could meet people from New York and network and that. And then I know New York, I think, has used it also for, getting people. It's like a great benefit. They've gone to Philly, they've done Boston. It's a great way to also network with your local USBG. A big thing that we've done in Boston, other trade associations, I bartend like 1 or 2 nights a week. I'm a sommelier by trade. I got into USBG because Kitty reached out to the Boston Sommelier Society, and I do a lot of education stuff, and I wanted, you need to know, for the Court of Master Sommeliers, you need to know like 200 classic cocktails. You need to know all sorts of spirit stuff that y'all are amazing at. We reached out to them. We've reached out to chef owners of restaurants. Let them know what we're doing. It's a great way to get people signed up because they see the level that we bring. They want their bartenders trained and brought to that level, so it's a good opportunity. We've reached out to, there's a lot of restaurant groups that have someone who's a beverage director and does all of the stuff, who gets then their people. They work for us, basically. We get him involved, or her, and then they want their 20 bartenders to be a member because it's a great opportunity. They're going to learn more, and it works for them. So just because it's not a bar association, you should definitely look at other trade associations in your town. Slow Foods, Chefs Collaborative, sommelier societies, whatever. All these people want to be involved. We also reached out to blogs, cocktail blogs, Cocktail Virgin Slut, and then it's Virgin, and then they slashed it out and Slut, it's not a slut, whatever. And then Drink Boston. We invite them to events, and then they do write-ups about those events on their blogs. I mean, we comp one ticket, but it brings people in. People are reading in the industry about their stuff, and it gets, some people are wanting to get into bartending and gets them in, and it also gets, bartenders in. I don't know if anyone's read their bylaws, but we have a membership chair in Boston. We created a whole position who focuses on all that crap. So our secretary isn't tracking things, so the president doesn't have to hound people. His entire job is to send emails to new members, thanking them for joining, sending out surveys every 6 months for what members are interested in, what we've done good so far, what they'd like to see more of, and hound people who are leaving. Why are you leaving? What did we do wrong? Can we make it up to you? That, you can create positions for your board, and we created a membership chair because it was something that was important for us. The other last thing we did is we did a group discount. If you signed up like 5 people you work with, we gave you $40 off of your membership. So if you go, you have 7 bartenders and you get them all to sign up, you get some cheapness to put other people to your work. That was it.
Thank you. We have time for one more.
I think
You might as well come
We have
back.
about 8 minutes, is that right? How many do we have left? Hands up. 1, 2? All right.
We'll be
3. Let's do it. What are you doing?
I'm going to start at the top of the list, and actually, you guys already said that one. No, I'm Michael from Rhode Island, and we have a great group of the Northeast and Milwaukee actually talking about some ideas. Obviously, many of them have already been said, but starting off, finding out the reason why people are not renewing, and really targeting, identifying the target audience. So if you're going to go after people and they're just like, oh, I don't want to pay, it's too expensive, I don't have time, those are the people that we don't really need to have involved in USBG. So identifying those bar owners or restaurateurs who you can show the value of the guild. Also, the distributors, the boots on the streets, having maybe a membership dedicated, so who's out there and they're running out and engaging and finding these people on a day-to-day basis. Trade organizations, I'm on the board for Rhode Island Hospitality, so we did a membership. We joined them, they joined us, and it was kind of, so we engaged with them. It's already been said. Talking more about beer and wine licenses, it's all about cocktails and spirits, but as Kelly said, wine is very important. And then also the reason why people weren't joining because they feel like it's too cliquish, or it's a great bartender in your market, they win every competition, so I'm not going to join because so-and-so wins every time. Which happens in Milwaukee, I guess, a lot. But I think that, finding out the reasons why people don't want, join or why they are not going to stay is very important. And then, the most important thing is engaging membership throughout the entire year, not just waiting for the last month when they're going to decide not to renew, and really to give them a reason why they should show up and why they should renew on a daily basis. That's really our job as board members or whatever, is to give them a reason. I think Nevada is doing an incredible job of that, honestly. But thank you all very much, and go Northeast.
I'll be real quick because everything went over, but one of the things that he mentioned was the distributors. We have distributors pass out flyers to all the accounts. One of the cool things that happened was we got with all the distributors and they put together a list of all the accounts in our city, and they gave us all the emails to all the restaurants, so we could email directly the restaurants and they kind of pass on that information to their bartenders. The other thing that we did is we had people go and get everybody's emails at all the bars as well. So now we have like 300 people on our email list, even though we only have 42 members or something like that with a small city. But we send out all the information to all 300 every time we send something out. So, and then on Facebook page with MailChimp, you can sign up if you want to get those email boxes.
Anybody else?
I know, right? All right, I'm Ron Turner, Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, a couple of things real fast. Most of it was already touched on, but one of the things that we do, obviously we do a lot of fun events that cater to everybody. We just did like what was called a Carnival of Sin. It was like service industry night, but we had all kinds of like fun activities, dunk tank, games, the whole nine and all that. We use that to recruit members in there. I want to make it all fun, usually tied to a charity of some sort. One of the strategies that we do use is we go and talk at bartending schools. Talk to the people that are taking the classes and get ready and plan to maybe intercept them and continue their education if they want to join the USBG. Okay, because a lot of these bartending school students, they don't really know what they're doing. So, we can intercept them before they go and they get some bad habits put into themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the ways that we do that. We actually have some stack of applications at our local bartending school, believe it or not. Also push it through social media, Facebook, Twitter, to find various avenues to bartenders that are on those. Another thing we do is we get bars to offer service industry discounts to USBG members if they show their card. So we have partnerships with the bars. We hold our meetings there, and our board meetings and so forth. We do special events there. In exchange, if someone's got a card, they'll give them a discount with service industry price. So that's kind of cool incentive to get a cool incentive for them to join. As far as retention goes, we do a lot of fun stuff. It's all about relationships. This is what I feel the most important thing is in this, is the relationships that people have together as friends. So we do things like kickball, or we do like a movie night or whatever. We got movie theaters that serve alcohol. So we could have some, some good fun times, exactly. So things like that. So pretty much that's it. Maintain the relationships is how we keep people to stay in. And also, as officers, we only have a little over 40 people in our chapter right now, but, I make sure to become friends or maintain relationships with everybody, because if you continue to do that, so no one feels left out, you know what I mean? And chances are they probably will renew their membership again. So, and that's pretty much what we do. So, there you have it.
Okay, great. Before we end, I just wanted to let everybody know, I know that you're really concerned about understanding who your new members are, and we are working on it, but you can always ask me for a list. I don't have a problem if you ask me for a list. If you're having an event and you need a list that day, I will give it to you that day. Everybody that I have on my list will go out to you. It's usually in 2 tabs. The first tab has everybody who's a member. The second tab has everybody who's not a member anymore. And those are the people that you have to target to get back. And I would suggest when you're sending it out and you're saying why, also tag the next 3 things that you're going to be doing, saying, look what you're going to miss. You're going to miss this, and you're going to miss this, and you're going to miss this. And then if you put a price on that, it's more than $100. Okay, John?
I just want to say a quick thing following up on what Boris was mentioning about your emails, and you've got about 60 members, but you send out the email to 300 something members. I want everyone to be careful when doing something like that, because you want to make sure that your actual members, your actual paid members, figure out that they're membership is of value, you know, as opposed to those people who are just getting invited and they haven't had to pay for the membership. You know what I mean?
We're sending out the information. We don't allow a member-only events. We don't allow everybody to show what we're doing and to keep that interest. Like, oh, this would be really cool. I should join so that I can come.
So they can't come to it.
They can't come to it.
Oh, okay, all right.
It just everybody knows what's going on.
We do a real similar thing in Denver. Our mailing list is about 450 people, and we have 100 active members. And all those 450 get emails for every event we do. But they know, you know, most of those events space is limited, and it's for members only. And if it's not a member only event, if we're looking for a serious crowd for whatever reason, you know, Allie, myself, and the other officers are at that event. Like, hey, when are you gonna join? Like, what's going on? Let's do. You know, they'll get a few freebies, but then you know we're gonna plug them, and you know most of them end up becoming members.
See, on the note of that, members only versus, we try that once a year, at least, huge party where everyone's invited, there's a ticket, and they're getting a lower price, and non-members get a higher one. But if you sign up during that, the difference goes towards your membership.
Discount membership. Okay, all right. David, do we have some
Final words? It's 5:30, guys.
It's happy hour. It sounds like it was a great seminar. It was a good day today? Yeah. Awesome. Before you run out of the room, a few little things. I want you all to realize that while you all contributed very gracefully and very much out of your own local chapters to be here, this event would not happen without our sponsors. So please be very thankful to our sponsors. They went out of their way to make this all happen. So if you see somebody with a black lanyard or you know somebody who is working for a brand, be sure to thank them. A little bit of housekeeping. We're going downstairs now for happy hour. Then we'll go to dinner. The dinner is walking distance from here as well. Everything on your tables will be taken off. So if you have anything of value, anything you want tomorrow, please take it, because everything will basically be thrown away. So if you want, and then again, if you want to drop your stuff off in your room, then come down for happy hour in the lobby area, just opposite the elevators, and then we'll tell you where dinner is from there. Thank you all so much for a great day today.
You guys, thank you for your energy. It's been amazing. Let's bring that energy back again tomorrow.